and welcome to another revelatory episode here with me, Carmel Fisher. Super excited to dive into an exciting company with a lot of development underway already, and that is Oncotelic Therapeutics. They are listed on the OTCQB as OTLC, and with me is CEO Dr. Vuong Trieu. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, excited. Tell us a little bit more before we dive into all the questions and the latest news. What does Oncotelic Therapeutics really focus on?
So Oncotelic is a clinical stage biotechnology company. We're developing drug to treat cancer and other rare diseases such as Parkinson's and sexual dysfunctions. And the team has been around for 25 years, and we originally developed Abraxane and later on Cynviloq, and now we're working on a lot of exciting drugs around oncology.
Dr. Trieu, incredible. You've built an extraordinary intellectual property portfolio of, over 500 filed patents and then 75 issued patents, including the groundbreaking work with Abraxane and Cynviloq, I think I'm saying that correctly, and that resulted in multi-billion-dollar transactions, right? How does this proven track record of converting deep tumor microenvironment biology into globally protected, clinic-ready technologies, how does this position Oncotelic differently from other biotech companies?
Now, what we have at Oncotelic is a really deep knowledge of the tumor microenvironment, as well as the regulatory pathway that we develop for each one of the drugs. So when we take on an asset, we can easily build IP around it and protect it, and then we push it out to a regulatory pathway that have the shortest path to approval with the highest chance of approval. So that really differentiates us from everyone else, and that's what we're trying to do.
Excellent. Unlike many biotech companies that are still in early discovery phases, Oncotelic has multiple drug candidates approaching commercialization, including phase 3 asset nearing market entry. Can you walk investors through what near commercialization actually means in concrete terms? So I'm thinking timeline, regulatory pathway, market size, etc. And then explain how this large stage positioning fundamentally changes the risk-reward profile for investors compared to, say, typical biotech investments?
Great. That's a good question. Now, biotech company is inherently it's a high-risk project. The failure rate is very high. I mean, you take any developing a drug, you take $1 billion, and your failure is 90% of the time. So what we have done is we de-risk the entire project. We take an asset, we build IP around it, but at the same time, we de-risk the project. So when I de-risk mean that if you take an early on project, the chance of failure is high, 90%, more than that. But if you take a late stage asset, the failure rate is much lower, like 50% when you enter into phase 3. So that's what we focus on, is to push the project as close to late stage phase 3 as possible, so you increase your chance of success. One of the other approaches is to take drug that's not a new chemical entity and focus on reformulation, making it better, so that the drug itself is already have activity, so you know it works. Now you just have to improve on its activity, and that's the 505(b)(2) strategy. And that compared to the new chemical entity, you shorten the development timeline from 15 years to 1 to 3 years. So that's a big deal. So that's our focus. It really to push our project as close to commercialization as possible, and therefore de-risking the project.
The pipeline spans from OT101 in phase 3 pancreatic cancer to pediatric rare disease programs with priority review voucher potential, plus your 45% ownership of GMP Bio. How do these diverse assets create value synergies beyond their individual market opportunities as a start? And then more specifically, how does your integrated approach to drug development, combining your patent creation expertise with Oncotelic's clinical assets, create a compounding value effect that investors should understand?
Yeah, I think what we have right now is there are a lot of assets within Oncotelic, and as the team work on each one of these assets, we build IP around it, we build regulatory pathway around it, and then we push it out to build partnership around it, so that we have the financial resource to push each one of these projects quickly forward. And that's how we build value for the shareholder, because each one of these projects by itself is going to be a $1 billion drug when it does get commercialized. So that creates value, but by ourselves, we can only handle a handful of projects, right? So, but we engage partnership, and so that we can move as quickly we can across multiple disease indications and create value quickly.
Very interesting. So you mentioned anticipating significant advancements in drug development in the near future. Now, without revealing confidential information, can you help investors understand what types of catalysts they should be watching for across your pipeline?
Our investors should be really looking forward to a lot of announcements from us in the next 12 months or so, both from the clinical side, where we have drug enter into IND, drug finishing phase 1, moving various clinical milestones, as well as regulatory milestones such as IND approval, and those, as well as expansion into other indications, and then as well as partnership announcements. So there's a lot of, those are the three main things that people should be looking at: regulatory milestone, clinical milestone, and partnership milestone.
Okay, those would be the inflection points. I get it. So having said that, the pipeline looks promising. We know what to look for. Yet looking at your market cap, it's, it's not really aligned to what the pipeline shows. Give us an exact estimate of what that market cap is now, and how you plan on bringing that into alignment.
Right. Our market cap is fairly depressed. It's like 20 million the last time I checked.
Right.
Now, each one of our drug, if it hit commercialization, will be $1 billion blockbuster. So we anticipate the market cap will move up to match our actual value of the company. But the team been really focusing on operational executions, getting these drugs moving through clinical development and into the trial and into approval. So we haven't been really going out there and talking to investors. Only recently we starting to do that. So once the news get out there and we start go out and talk to investors, I'm sure the market cap will rise to match the expectation.
And we'll definitely be here to cover the news and cover the progression of that. Looking at your track record now, Abraxane's $2.9 billion acquisition by Celgene and Cynviloq's $1.3 billion deal with NantPharma. There's a clear pattern of transforming innovative science into substantial shareholder value. Are you going to apply the same approach at Oncotelic? What's the specific elements of your proven playbook that you'll be executing? And how should investors think about the potential scale of value creation given the breadth of the current pipeline and the size of the markets you're addressing?
We basically will replicate a lot of things that we've done before with Abraxane, Cynviloq. We're going to build IP around each one of these assets. We're going to build a novel regulatory strategy so that it cut the development timeline down and de-risk the project. And then we'll get partners to come in and push very hard to get these projects through. And that's how we're going to build value for the shareholder. And we have a lot of assets in our company that each one we're going to be pushed, we're going to be doing the same thing. So OT101, which is our most advanced product, it's been pushed to a joint venture with Dragon Overseas. That's going very well. And then we have other assets within our pipeline that we will be doing the same thing. So it's same approach, same strategy.
Good. That's the playbook we can look forward to. Again, I'm Carmel Fisher, and we'll be bringing you more updates as things unfold for Oncotelic Therapeutics. Again, they are listed on OTCQB as OTLC. I've been sitting with CEO Dr. Vuong Trieu. Thank you so much. Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Brought to you as always by the Harvest Podcast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.